listening to Opie and Anthony. On the Virus, Sirius-XM.
Do you watch like mostly basketball, or do you boxing, MMA?
I'm all around.
Watch everything?
Yeah, I keep abreast of football. I love. I was a quarterback in high school, and football. I was a catcher in baseball, and so I like the game. I like boxing. I watch track and field. Yeah.
Do you wish you were a football player ever?
Not when I see 300-pound guys running like that, man.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Some of those quarterbacks, I don't know how they get up, man.
It's unbelievable.
After some of those hits.
The hits this year are unbelievable.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Walt about the 5 greatest players of all time.
5 greatest players, other than myself.
Other than yourself.
Or including yourself.
You could include yourself. No one's going to laugh at that.
There has been one Superman in the game. That was Wilt Chamberlain.
Sure.
And Bill Russell was right behind him. And I go with Robertson and West.
Wow.
I guess I have to throw Jordan in there. Michael has to be in there.
But you're just kind of throwing him in at the end? No respect for Jordan?
No, there's respect, but
when it comes to the history of the game, he just squeaks in there?
Yeah,
Top 5?
I think if he played in our era, he would not have been as dominant.
Really? Why?
Because we had 7-foot guys. We had 7-foot guys. There are really no centers when Michael started to dominate. Plus, the league is expanding. There are more teams, so they're not as strong.
Wow, a lot of people would put Jordan either 1 or 2.
Yeah, I know, but see, today, who's ever playing is the greatest.
Right.
If you're doing it today. So a lot of people never saw Wilt Chamberlain play. Because to me, this is the thing. Wilt Chamberlain is the only player they had to change the rules for to try to contain him. Right? When you see goaltending, that man started goaltending, where he used to shoot the ball from the side of the basket, he'd jump up and pull it out of the air.
Didn't matter where it was.
Right.
It could be in the cylinder pretty much.
Anywhere, right. So they had to change it. That's goaltending. Then the lane, they widened the lane from 6 feet to 8 feet to keep this guy, try to contain this guy in the paint. So he's the only player that they really changed the game for,
Do you think Jordan, he was obviously a great player, but do you think in the history of basketball, he's been slightly overrated compared with a lot of the guys that came a little bit before him?
Only overrated because people never saw Oscar Robertson in his prime, Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain. There's very little footage.
Right.
Come on, Oscar Robertson, the guy who almost averaged a triple-double for his whole career. He did it for one season. And I'm talking 25 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists.
Every game he was doing.
Right. Every game.
Doubles.
And wasn't there no footage of Wilt? Didn't he score? Was it 100 against, I want to say
100
against
points.
Philly? Or am I wrong about that?
The Knicks, unfortunately.
Oh, against the Knicks.
Against the Knicks
And there was no footage of that, right? There's no film of that.
Not really, no.
No, but there were 20,000 people there anyway that saw it.
Yeah. Even though the gym only held 1,000. But everyone says they were at that game.
But you can't watch it in a replay like you can all of Jordan's great plays.
You didn't put Kareem in the top 5, or did you?
No.
Kareem is there, too. He's in the next tier with Magic. Kareem and Magic, those guys.
Respect
Bird.
I was going to ask about Bird.
Yeah.
What about Kareem's acting chops there on Airplane?
He ruined it for all of you,
Thought he was great.
He didn't lead the way. He ruined it.
He was the co-pilot.
Even being in Hollywood didn't help him, man.
They said the funny thing, too, is like guys like Nicholson, who's obsessed with basketball, when he would go into the Lakers locker room, all he wants to talk about is basketball, and all they want to talk about is acting. It's like, do you find that with like other celebrities on your level? They want to talk about what you do, and you want to talk about what they do?
Well, yeah, when we meet Spike, Spike is a tremendous fan, and but it doesn't bother me because being a broadcaster, I learn a lot from the fans. Sometimes they say something, I go, wow, I never thought of that. So I like talking to the New York fans made me create my style. Because when I first came to the game, I'd been away and I was saying fast break and they were saying transition. I was saying passing, they were saying dishing. And versatility, all this creativity. And I was like, hey, man, that's the way I should sound. If I'm going to be doing this, I got to work at this. So I work diligently to improve my vocabulary, and so now I added dishing and swishing. So I had my own little posting and toasting, shaking and baking, wheeling and dealing. So all the things that I created from that once I improved my vocabulary.
Sometimes you could catch old games on like ESPN Classic, and it really is funny to watch the evolution of the uniform, the shorts that used to just be ridiculously short and silly looking.
Yeah, how do you keep your balls in those shorts? Well, that's what we're getting at.
And it did look really silly.
I'm surprised the ball didn't pop out on somebody.
Well, look,
we
not
could have never gotten away with that because guys used to grab our shorts back in the day.
Look, he's just being polite. When it was all white guys, the shorts could be shorter. We all understand that.
There's a reason why they're long shorts now.
Shit.
So then Jordan brought him in. Jordans were fine. Now they're too long, man. The guys have taken it to the other extreme.
Yeah, now they're really, really long.
Yeah,
like
too baggy, too extreme. Yeah.
How about the fans, too? It's like you've seen a couple of guys run into the stand, and it's like, I don't know how more guys don't do that. Like, there's a line where people are just yelling about stuff that is game-related, and I know some of the fans can just be atrocious.
Yeah, but
like,
you can't lose your cool that way.
Have you ever wanted to? I mean, were there times where you'd be on the road where it went beyond where you were
Not with
tolerant?
the fans, with the coach. I wanted to do the Spreewell on Holtzman before Spreewell. A lot of times.
Really? You didn't like Red Holtzman at times?
Well, sometimes, man, he could make you very upset. You want to choke him, but we never did. Red had a way of antagonizing you. Like, Frazier, you're supposed to be a good defensive player. This guy's eating you up,
Holtzman was a legendary coach, man.
Yeah. He knew how to push the buttons, man. He knew how to get you fired up, and I credit a lot of my success in the game to him.
Right. How do you guys respond to, like, Peyton Manning? Here's an example of was making a comeback against New England this week, and he threw an interception going down. And he's obviously a great quarterback, but he screwed up and he cost the team what could have been the tying field goal. When you guys go into the locker room, the field goal kicker that missed or the guy that missed the free throw, how does the rest of the team respond to the guy who obviously just blew it?
Be honest, Walt.
Yeah, like what is the feeling about if you've been the guy who's done it or...
Well, usually they ignore you. They don't say anything.
They
don't say anything. Like, and there's some guys that come over and say it's all right. The coach usually will come over and say it's all right. We'll get him the next time.
I guess they know they screwed up. Why antagonize them?
But today, the most unforgiving miss is a field goal kicker. Nobody has any sympathy for a field goal. Because this is all you do, man.
That's all you do.
So nobody has any compassion for him once he misses. Right.
Especially anything now inside like the 40-yard line. It's like anything. You should be making that.
Right. They don't expect them to miss. But we're like with Peyton, he's won so many games.
Right.
The guys just, hey, man, that's one of those things. Because he's going to come back and redeem himself.
Well, a lot of people, everyone has a question for you, but they want me to ask you about Kobe. What's your thoughts on Kobe Bryant?
Kobe Bryant, he's right there with Michael.
Really?
Yeah. He's the dominant player today, the preeminent player in the league. He can shoot, he can defend. He's team-oriented, so he really has no weaknesses.
And the other thing, I got to get back to LeBron James. I forgot about this. What do you think of him leaving Cleveland like that?
I was shocked he did not come to New York. How could he turn this challenge down?
Right.
I couldn't believe it. I was flabbergasted when it happened.
Patrice O'Neal made a good point. He said LeBron James decided he wanted to be Pippen instead of Jordan, like the second guy,
right?
On a team. Why would you want to do that? You want a championship that bad? I don't understand. Maybe he didn't like where Cleveland was heading, but the Knicks would have been a great opportunity.
Yeah, I thought if he didn't come to the Knicks, he would stay with Cleveland. They weren't that far away.
So you were kind of shocked by the whole thing,
I was
right?
shocked, man.
Especially knowing about egos and stuff.
Well, this city, we've given the guy everything already. And here, all he had to do was win one title to be immortalized.
God, can you imagine?
If he wins 3 or 4 in Miami, it's not the same.
Right.
Because he's got Wade, he's got Bosh, he's got all these guys, so it's not going to be the same. So
I think it's the New York media, too. A lot of guys don't want to come here because the New York media can be brutal. I think that scares a lot of guys away.
New York's not for everybody. It's a special type of player that likes the camaraderie here, the fans, that challenge here that I was alluding to, that every other day to go out and win the game.
Do you want, when you see yourself plastered on the back of the paper and there's just some sports reporter just giving you a beating for what you did the night before, how personally do you take that?
I stopped reading. I stopped reading the paper late in my career. They were bashing me, so I just stopped reading the paper.
Stop reading it, yeah.
The New York paper's funny when it's not about you. When it started being about me, it wasn't so funny, you know. So
yeah, the big unit couldn't take it.
Randy Johnson could not take it.
Randy Johnson lost his mind here in New York because they wouldn't leave him alone. And he blew his cool so many times
at the press.
Oh, they hate him.
Yeah, you can't do that. You got to stay cool, remain cool. Because what I like about New York is when you're thriving, hey man, they're giving you all the kudos.
Oh yeah,
you're the greatest. You're the greatest. Yeah. So then, to me, it's fair that when you're not playing well, they bash you.
They're gonna rip you
know,
apart.
that's the way it is.
Yep.
But in other cities, the players are thriving. They don't get the kudos that they get in New York.
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
Yeah,
that's the place to be. Apparently,
Walt only has like a minute or two left. I want to make sure we get the plug out for the book.
I'm actually looking through. It's great.
Anything else you want to say about the book, Walt?
I think the fans will enjoy it because it's about the evolution and revolution of the game. I mentioned that today the players are more like specialists because of the system of point guard, shooting guard, as opposed to when I played. The defense in there that I talk about how to defend these prolific scorers. There are some great pictures, action shots of me, my fashion passion, about my wardrobe, how that all evolved, and my teammates, you know, the camaraderie with my teammates, how we captivated New York with our style of play. And I think it'll bring back a lot of memories for the fans that were around in the 70s. And for the young fans that know me now as a Knick announcer, they'll get an insight into me as a ball player and a person.
This is great, too, because everyone likes a lot of great photos. These are all great photos, but there's a lot of just writing and photos, which is like perfect in a book.
Oh, yeah.
I hate books that have no pictures.
Yeah,
and
easy read.
Great line here. Pit juice is what some of the players call underarm deodorant. Just fantastic little lines like that.
a little tidbit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes guys forgot that pit juice, man. They were very offensive on the court.
Would guys do that on purpose, though?
Getting in your face with their armpit and shit.
Yeah.
You hear about athletes that do that on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
They don't shower or brush their teeth for a week or so to make it just horrendous for you out there. Is that true, or is that just some dumb...
Well, some guy, I don't know if they were doing it intentionally, but there were guys noted for their offensive odor. Yeah.
Jesus. Are you doing any book signings with this? They have you
December 7th, I'm at the NBA store.
Oh, right
here in New York.
Cool.
Yeah, around, I think it's 2 o'clock.
Okay, December 7th. I wish we had that on a sheet. Do we have a sheet of that? Because we can give that after you leave the book signing.
December 7th at the NBA store. Walt Frazier will be there.
And there will obviously be a line. So keep in mind December 7th. And the book is out now. People can get it now.
Right. It's in the stores now. And there's a terrific picture of me on the cover with one of my outfits on, a gaucho hat. I have a $20 gold piece around my neck, which I framed. I used to wear that for good luck, and a cape.
A cape
and a turtle. It almost looks like a religious outfit.
A lot of people can't wear a cape. Can't pull off the cape.
You and Elvis pull off the cape.
Yeah, Superman.
And Superman.
Yeah, Superman pulled it off well. I mean, non-flying people. This is great, though. I really like it a lot. I've been perusing it as we've been talking, and it's a quality book, man. It's really you'll do very well with this. Obviously, I'm sure you've done well with it before. You'll do well with it again.
Right on. Let's.
And that's the beauty of playing in New York. This is like my 6th book that I've done.
So you have all basketball books, or did you kind of go into novels?
Well, I did a word book on my vocabulary. I did an idiot's guide to basketball, and then the other books were on the championship Knick teams. A couple of books. One was the game within the game, and one magic season and a basketball life.
Oh, nice.
Oh, very cool.
Buy this one, Rockin Steady. It's a hardcover, and it is out now by Walt Frazier.
Yeah, if you want to be cool, man, styling like Clyde, check it out.
The cool Walt Frazier.
I want this jacket badly, but in my size.
You want it in your size?
Yeah, that would look silly.
Great. Hey, Walt, thanks for stopping by, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, it was fun. Thank you.
The Virus. Sirius-XM. This